Hello, hi, good day, folks. Hope you are doing well. So, today we will go through another example of quadratic function, and this time, what I have for you is something to relate with the range of values for different types of roots. So, let's look at the question. Find the range of values of k for quadratic function that does not have any roots. So, on the previous lesson, you have learned that when I say something that does not have any roots, then your formula would be b square negative 4ac less than 0. And graphically how it looks like, it doesn't touch the x-axis. That's the reason why it doesn't have any roots. F(x) is equal to x square plus kx plus 2k square negative 7. In this case, first you have to make sure that the function written out here is represented in quadratic formula, which is ax square plus bx plus c. Alright, so in this case I don't have to do anything. So my a is 1, my b is k, and my c is entirely everything 2k square negative 7. Alright, so my a is just the number here, my b is k, and my c is entirely everything else. Now we have these coefficients properly defined, so we just write our formula b square negative 4ac less than 0 to echo with the question which asking for the quadratic function that does not have any roots. Let's start with b square. So your b is k, so your k will be squared negative 4, your a is 1, and your c is 2k square negative 7, and make sure you follow the sign properly. So your sign is less than 0, and the rest of it is simple algebra. You just have to expand. So k square negative 4 and 2k square negative 7 less than 0, and then you get k square. So what I gotta do here, you see a bracket, right? So basically you gotta expand here and you gotta expand here. Negative 4 times 2k, negative 8k square. Negative 4 times negative 7, it will be positive 28 less than 0. Now you have defined in this term, and what you can see here, you can see a quadratic function. So your k has a value of square, and normally how do you solve your quadratic function? There are three ways for that. First is, if it is simple, you can just simply factorize it. If it is complicated and it end up with some decimal place, you can use your quadratic formula. And last but not least, you have the method which is completing the square. And in this case, looks like it will solve to a simple value. And k square negative 8k square, I can still simplify that. I'll get negative 7k square positive 28 less than 0. Now I gotta solve for my value of k. So what am I going to do? In this case, I don't have my bx value, I just have my ax square value. So how I'm going to approach this, I'm going to bring my negative 7k square to the other side. So the reason why I'm doing this, because I want my k square value in front of it, the sign is positive. Alright, so I don't have to worry about anything else. So if I were to do that, I will leave my 28 here, and I have the sign as such. Negative 7k square I bring to the other side, I have 7k square. So now you have 28, 7 times k square. So I'm gonna bring my 7 to the other side, so it will be basically division. So 28 divided by 7, you end up with 4, and then you end up with this. And now I want to write it a bit differently. How am I going to write it? I'm just going to write it my k squared on the left hand side, my 4 on the other side, but I'm not going to change anything. So what you can see here, the sign open up at k square. So when you were to write at this side, you got to write with the same sign as well. So your open up face will be towards your k square, and then there will be 4 on the other side, which will be pointing at over here. Alright, and you are not yet done. So now I have k square greater than 4. I have my square sign over here. So what I gotta do, so my square sign I bring to the other side. Basically it will be plus minus square root of 4. So k greater than plus minus 2. How does this look like? And again, you got to look at your sign. Alright, a simple way to look at it, when your sign is as such, let's say your sign is x and your sign is as such. Alright, the open up face is towards your unknown. In this case, the values for your range of x values be away from the function. Alright, so let's say you have a value of a lower limit here. In this case, let's define it as -1. You have a value here, let's define it as 1. So your value going to look something like this. Likewise, for this is going to be the same as well. So let's draw a graph. So here we are talking about k. So the values here will be k. In this case, you have two values. First is your k is 2, and the second part, your k is -2. First is positive and the second is negative. In this case, what I mentioned to you, your lower limit will be on the left hand side and your bigger limit is on the right hand side. So it will follow the number line pattern. You have -2, which will fall over here, and your bigger number will fall over here. Alright, and your range of values will look somewhat like this. And this is quite specific for this sort of sign where you have the open face pointing at your unknown. It will be away from -2 and it will be away from your 2. And how do you write it? Away from your -2, which going to be lesser than -2, so your k will be less than -2. Away from your 2, that means it's going to be a bigger number, so your k will be bigger than 2. That's it. So just a simple example for this type of function. I hope you guys learned something new today. See you in the next video.